up on the Kitaholic Kit YouTube channel today with my first ever design team layout. What you can see on your screen now is the beautiful February main and pocket page kit which I have mixed together. I am going to try and kill this kit, so check back at the end of the month. I'll be doing a layout, flip through and a kill the kit video. For this layout, I'm going to start with some mixed media. I am using the Dylusions Bubblegum Pink ink spray and the Kaiser Mist Aqua. So I'm just going to be doing a bit of the packaging technique, which if you are not familiar with, that basically means you spray the mist onto some packaging and you smush it down onto the paper. I have put a very thin coat of gesso on the left hand side of my paper in preparation for this technique, and I also sprayed the paper with some water first to help it all blend in nicely. So I'm just going to go in with the teal and try and sort of blend it in with the pink, so to say. It does look a bit strange until I start getting other elements on the page. I'm really happy with the end result. It is a little bit different. It is a little bit out of my comfort zone. For my first design team layout, why not go the complete opposite direction of what I normally do in a layout? Call me crazy. So adding some ink splatters as well, and just using a serviette actually, just to job all the excess up. And then I'm going to go out after I've played with this star paper. I'm going to take it outside and put it in the sun to dry, and I'm going to start tearing shreds off this star paper, literally. So I'm going to try and go for a T design with some paper strips, using this star paper, which is a Simple Stories paper from the Love and Adore collection. That is basically what the kit has in it, is a Love and Adore and some pink Fresh Studio pieces in there as well. It's a really nice fun kit, nice bright colours, and great to work with. So I've got my star strip. Now I'm using this spotty bit, which is from the exclusive Printables cut apart sheet, and then I'm going to grab this branding strip from one of the other pieces of paper. So I've got all my strips there. I'm going to bring back in my background, and I'm going to sort of start playing around and fiddling around with the placement of these. As I said, in my head I was thinking a T design, so I'm going to sort of turn some of those around and start playing with it that way. I'm using a rough edge on all my pieces of paper in this layout, not a nice smooth clean cut. I'm roughing them up either with the scissors or by tearing them. And at this stage I haven't actually selected my photo. I had planned to use one of the puffy stickers, which was to the effect of "you lift up my heart" or "you raise up my heart" or something like that. So I was going to use a photo of my husband and I. Unfortunately I couldn't find a photo of my husband and I, so I've gone with a photo of me and my sister at a wedding. Now that means that I'm going to have to change my title, and you will see towards the end of the video I put down a title and that is actually not what it ends up being. So here I am, I'm just sticking down these strips of paper. I'm being extra careful to make sure I've got enough double-sided tape on there because of the mixed media on the page. Do not want them lifting up and curling up and not sticking. So I've just brought in another piece of that star paper. If you know me, I don't waste a scrap, so it was quite on hand and easy to grab in. I've added some pink washi. Now this blue aqua paper and the black tissue paper, they are just from my stash. They're from my layering bucket, is what I call it, just different sorts of paper with different textures that I keep in sort of a container for layering purposes. Now I don't show you the full layering process because basically I just rip them into 2 squares and place them as photo mats around my photo. Then using this black and white striped Project Life card, it was a 4x6 card, I've put that horizontally behind the photo and torn and roughed up the edges of that. I'm adding another piece of washi, it's a green diagonal stripe. I'm trying to bring a little bit of green in because the stars on the original piece of paper, there's white, there's green, aqua and pink, so that's my colour theme. This is just some pink craft foam. I'm going to put that on the back of the photo just to bump it up and have it stand out from all that mixed media on the background. And now I'm going to start playing with some stamps. Now I actually have never stamped on a layout before, so here we go. Let's put it on my first design, team layout. I hope you like it. I don't mind it. It's probably not exactly what I had in mind, but I do a couple of arrows and a film strip. And now I've grabbed all those gorgeous floral pieces from the ephemera pack and I'm going to play around with those. I don't end up using them all. I think I end up using 2 pieces. I just decided they were too pretty. They were too pretty for this layout. So I popped them back and now I've got my thread, just white and black plain old cotton. And I wrap that around my fingers and loop it up, and I'm going to stick down my photo first of all because it's moving around everywhere. So I get that stuck down and I'm just using my glue that I got from the reject shop. It's nearly out. I am going to invest in some good glue. Now I'm going to glue down I've got a round piece from the ephemera pack that has XOXO. I'm going to glue that down on top of the thread, and then I'm going to bring in this yellow acrylic heart, which is from Corbett Creations, and then also a turquoise resin flower. Now I pop this piece of ephemera up in this top corner, and looking at it now, I do like it there. It doesn't stay, however, so I do move that just a little bit later. Here on the side, I'm going to work on my second cluster, and I've just brought in 2 of the bits of or the scraps of paper that I had used previously. So I've got the star piece and the stripy piece, and I'm just going to put a couple of staples in those. That is more for looks than anything else. And then I'm going to do a little bit more of the packaging technique just on the edge of the page, just as a base for this cluster. I must admit, when I was doing this, I was doing it very carefully because I thought, I've got so much already down on this page. If I stuff this up, then I'm going to have to start all over again. So I did go quite easy on it. Add a few more splatters, and then I will stick down those 2 strips of paper and start building up this cluster, which it doesn't end up being a really big cluster. It actually ends up being more of a grounding point for my title. So I'm still fluffing around with the floral ephemera, and I do decide that I'm going to tuck it under all my layers and the bottom cluster there, and then I'm going to put 1 single flower up in my second cluster. It is hard for me not to put a piece of floral ephemera on a layer. I do love it. So I'm just going to use my glue. I've been using my glue a lot more because I find it's just a little bit more forgiving. You have a little bit more wiggle room once whatever you're putting hits the paper, whereas with double-sided tape it sticks straight away, and if you pull it up you do damage either what you're sticking down or the paper underneath. I grab this yellow heart. I love the hearts in this ephemera pack. They're like tall and skinny and a little bit wonky. They're not a perfectly rounded, perfect little love heart. So I pop that in above my sort of other pieces in the cluster. Poke it in from the side. Now I will bring in a another love heart and place it on top of that. That's a little bit later. That's sort of a last minute touch that I bring in. And I've added a little leaf ephemera piece up in that top corner again there. And I'm going to, this black cardstock is from the kit, and I'm going to cut out the middle of it and use it as a mat for my whole layout. This is something I've been doing more and more lately. I do feel it really finishes off a layout. I love the look of a doodly border, but I can't do them. So this is my way of finishing off my layout without having to actually use a pen and do a border. So again, using my glue, so much easier than my double-sided tape. Where have you been all my life? Here I am looking at my puffy stickers, and this is where I get stuck. So I use the word perfection, mainly because I wanted the pink, and then because we're sisters, I put sister perfection, and I was happy with it. But then the more I looked at it, the more I said it, I just thought, that just doesn't sound right. So I do change it. I change it to Picture Perfect Sisters. I just cut off the ION part of the perfection, and I'm happy with that. I also add a few of the rhinestones in the clusters, and then I call it done. Thank you so much for joining me. Head over and check out the Kitaholic Kits Facebook page, and do yourself a favour, if you don't already get their kits, sign up and get one. You will not be disappointed. I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.